This is a Honda Fury, and it is the most reliable, affordable, and best performing chopper on earth. Harley, Indian, and Customs, you better look out. This thing is coming for you.
Let's hear it.
Let's talk a little bit about this machine. First up, the good news. You have a 1312cc Honda V-twin pushing 57 horsepower and 79 foot-pounds of torque, returning about 40 miles per gallon, and this whole thing, all 6.5 feet of it, weighs about 670 pounds, and unfortunately, you're computer limited to about 99 miles per hour before we get into the aftermarket. Now, this motorcycle first debuted in January of 2009 at the New York City Jacob Javits International Motorcycle Show, and functionally, it stayed completely unchanged for the last 10 years. Here we are in 2020. You were able to buy this in May of 2009 as a 2010 model. This particular example is a 16, but 10 through 20, all exactly the same. Now, this ran at the time, or right now when you walk into a Honda dealership, for about $10,000 new right off the showroom floor. But Honda, as wonderful as we're going to find out as this machine is, really hasn't sold as many as they should have. So this particular bike, you can pick up either as a leftover between $7,500 and $9,000. That's a brand new motorcycle. Or I've seen them in the aftermarket as far as being resold by current owners with just a few thousand miles on them for as little as $3,500. Now, aside from the value, we want to talk about the big elephant in the room. This looks like a custom chopper, but it is a Honda on the inside. So we're gonna go and talk about the looks versus the performance of this machine, and why when you put them together, you have one of the most incredible motorcycles available today. Let's learn all about it. The appearance. Unmistakably amazing. This bike is notorious for getting, we'll call it the Fury double take. People will walk by, yo, sweet chopper, amazing. Look at that, custom, what'd you have it done? And you gotta smile and look them right in the eye and say, it's a Honda. And they go, it's a Honda? And do the double take, which is one of the most fun parts of riding this bike around and being with it in a parking lot, especially full of other, maybe less evolved motorcycles. We'll call them your Harleys, your Indians, and maybe your custom choppers. Now, starting off, you have the long rake in the front. That's the most notable. And to make it look like a chopper, obviously it's gotta be chopped up. So you'll see this big space. You can see right through to the other side, really admiring the top part of this, excuse me, the head of this engine. You get to admire it. Then you'll notice how slim the tank is. The bike really has beautiful lines coming from the handlebars back to the seat. It's slim, it's tight, it looks amazing, and there's no extra wires showing. You don't have to see the fuel pump, you don't have to see any of those things. Honda has hid them all because they're Honda. I challenge you to find a custom shop that can hide all of those awkward tubes and wires. And then I want to point out this seat. The seat, fair warning, miserably uncomfortable after an hour, but it's low. You have a 26-inch reach from your butt to the ground, making it all easy to stand up, whether you're short, tall, strong, weak. This is incredibly well balanced, and the low seat height lets you hold it up, no problems. The last thing you're gonna notice, well, maybe the first thing you're gonna notice, is the color-matched bodywork. The fender, the tank, the rear, all looks super tight, and you can add on a passenger seat, no problem. Matter of fact, under that rear fender, it's pre-drilled, rather, there's a spot that Honda has already measured out for you to very simply and quickly drill in to put your back seat on. We got one on this bike. Take your friends with you, have yourself a time. And then last but not least is this dash cluster. Has everything you need to know about your motorcycle, what's going on with it, is it overheating, how fast are you going, and looks super sharp. Now, a lot of custom bikes, some of them don't even have a speedo. You always know just how fast you're going and how much ahead of all the other bikes you are when you're on this thing. And moving along, let's talk about the performance. Now let's talk about performance. And you're gonna look at me and you're gonna go, Matty, didn't you say earlier this has 57 horsepower? What kind of performance could it possibly have? Well, let me drop some knowledge on you ignorance. First up, the engine, yes, is a big 1300cc V-twin with 57 horsepower. Okay, but it's that 79 foot-pounds of torque figure that we're really interested in. Most notably, that 80% of that torque is available at 2,500 RPMs, which is real quick in your wrist turn, and the full amount, $5 grand. That's where you have full torque, 79 foot-pounds to the wheel, slingshotting you around any bit of traffic or Harley Davidson that's busted on the side of the road that you will be able to find. And to give you a little bit of comparison, a little bit of idea of where we're coming from, you know what else has 79 foot-pounds of torque? A CBR 1000, also in the Honda's garage. Now, that only delivers its full amount of torque at 12,000 RPMs. So, theoretically, will you beat a CBR off the line? If you know what you're doing, oh yeah, you will. This thing will rip any stop sign, any stoplight, ever. Thank you very much, Honda. Putting that power to the ground, all this engine is putting it through a shaft drive. So zero maintenance, basically for the life of the machine. One day you can switch out the insides. I dare you to take one apart. Looks crazy. But sends it to this 200 section rear tire, big old fat piece of rubber. So you have this hard tail design and look, but on the insides, right here underneath your seat, you have a sport bike-esque rear mono shock. Very similar to the one that you'd find on a CBR 1000. It's adjustable for preload and for rebound, so you can get in there, tool it, set it up for your weight. So you're telling me a chopper I can set up for my weight and riding style? Yeah, you bet this thing will rock. Then your rear stopping power, you have a 296 millimeter rear disc. So that's like having a front brake in the back. Awesome job, Honda. Moving on to this front suspension. Now we're talking about the front of this machine. Now, yes, you have a big rake, but of course, Honda planned it all out. You have a 21-inch front wheel. Aside from it being beautiful and amazing, it's mated to 45 millimeter front forks. My race bike has 43 mil front forks. So this, even though it's a little bit longer travel, they're thick, they're robust, you can put some heavy oil in it, and boy, let me tell you, putting this in through a corner, easy, smooth, responsive, does exactly what you think it should do. And you want to talk about sparking some foot pegs as you're going around a corner, you will scare every Harley and Indian behind you with your little light show that you're putting on. We just had the 4th of July here, and yeah, sparklers, they come with this bike. They're right on the bottom of the foot pegs. You don't even have to be that brave for it, because this leans effortlessly. The ride quality of this machine is incredible. And the best part is, Doesn't leak any oil. It's a Honda. So it does everything it's supposed to do the way it's supposed to do it every single time and consistently. So folks, thank you so much for tuning in, talking about this beautiful Honda Fury. If you are in the market for a chopper before you go wasting $10, $15, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 on just an okay motorcycle, go treat yourself to look at what Honda has for a fraction of that. Folks, Matty Motorcycle here. Like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. We are coming at you every Friday with brand new videos. Thank you so much for tuning in.